having a yarn. So you'll notice that things look a little bit different. I'm in a different spot and I'm missing Tiff. It's because this is going to be a slightly different video. So I've really been getting back into sewing recently, and I thought it would just be nice. I've had a week off work and I thought it would be really nice to kind of organise my sewing supplies, my sewing stash, and I thought I would just film a couple of videos just to kind of share some things in the kind of sewing realm, I guess. So I am going to be sharing with you today my handmade wardrobe, which is what is sitting next to me here. So this isn't everything that I've made. There are things that, so I'm not particularly precious when it comes to handmaids. If I don't wear it, I will kind of donate it or give it to someone else or kind of reuse the fabric for something. I won't just keep something just because I made it. I have a fairly kind of minimal wardrobe. I would say this is probably half of my wardrobe. The other half would be bought things. So yeah, this isn't absolutely everything that I've ever made. A lot of them I have given away. I've either made as gifts or I just don't have anymore. And so this is kind of what my current wardrobe, my current me-made wardrobe, I suppose, that's in current rotation, that I just kind of wanted to share with you. I love watching these kind of videos and seeing the things that people are making and what their kind of me-made wardrobe looks like. So I thought I would share mine. So, starting with what I'm wearing. So this is hot off the sewing machine. I finished this probably about an hour ago. This is made of just a lovely light and flowy rayon from Spotlight. The rayon isn't the best quality, but it's kind of a good price. So I have bought some more kind of expensive rayons in the past, like my Rifle Paper Co rayon, which is absolutely like a dream to sew with, but it's a bit harder to kind of access that kind of stuff. Particularly at the moment in the middle of COVID, with deliveries being delayed and like sewing in fabric places overseas, maybe not shipping to Australia. So anyway, this is a self-drafted dress. So as I get towards the end there, I'll be sharing quite a few of these dresses that I've made kind of in the last week or two. It's kind of like a mishmash of all different patterns that I've kind of like altered quite significantly. So I kind of consider it self-drafted. So the kind of sleeve section is like kind of modelled off the Fringe dress by Chalk and Notch, with some quite serious kind of alterations around kind of the shoulder, just to kind of make it fit me a little bit better. The bodice has obviously changed because the Fringe dress has a kind of a button placket down the front, and this is just kind of a full bodice. I just wanted like a super easy to wear kind of summery dress that you can literally just like whack on. It's honestly, this dress now takes me about 3, maybe 4 hours to make. So yeah, and I made a few kind of adjustments along the way in terms of fit. So I've kind of added in some kind of bust darts at the bottom and some darts at the back as well, just to kind of make it a little bit more fitted. And then it's just like a simple kind of gathered skirt. The back has a seam down the back purely just because that's the way I kind of cut the fabric. So no fastenings, no zip, nothing like that. So super quick to make. And yeah, I just love that there's no setting it of sleeves because it's a dropped sleeve with just these little cuffs that you add on there, which is super easy to add on. And then I just bias bound the neckline and just hem the bottom. So yeah, I love it. So that's kind of what I'm wearing. So I'll just start here and move across. So this here is the first ever top I actually ever sewed. So this was my first foray into sewing. So I've been sewing garments now probably for about 4 years, maybe 5. I learnt to sew in high school and pretty much just made cushion covers and that, and I even owned a sewing machine. And then finally, about 4 or 5 years ago, I decided, like, I've got the internet, I should be able to teach myself how to sew. So I did. So this was the first thing I ever made. I was so proud of it. I still love the pattern. So this is the Willow tank by Green Lane Studios. Super simple little tank. It's got bias binding, which you kind of create the bias binding from the self fabric for the armholes and neckline, and it has like a bit of a deeper kind of hem at the bottom, which I think just kind of, yeah, gives it a nice little design feature. And what I've done is I've cropped it quite a bit because I am quite short-waisted and I like things to kind of end where kind of my trousers or skirts start. So I cropped it a little bit and I think it's perfect. So yeah, it's just this cute kind of organic cotton Cloud 9, again from Spotlight. So yeah, I really like that one. Don't wear it that often, to be honest, anymore, but I can't kind of part with this one. I have parted with, like I said, a lot of other stuff, but I haven't been able to part with this one yet. Then the next two are more of the same, basically, just in different fabrics. I adore this fabric. It is the most like beautiful kind of drapey cotton linen blend from Potter & Co, which is a really awesome fabric store here in Perth. Again, same tank. So I've made kind of adjustments along the way in terms of fit, but I can't really remember because this was a few years ago now. And this is an absolute staple because it's just, yeah, so it just goes with everything. An amazing little summer top. Next one is another one again in this beautiful kind of pink linen. Can't remember where I got the linen from. So I actually had this pink linen and I was making it into like a self-drafted gathered skirt, which just turned out terribly. I just couldn't get the fit right. It wasn't quite drapey enough. I had kind of either pleats or gathers. It was just not great. I didn't like it, and it was literally sitting kind of unmade in my wardrobe for at least 2-3 years. And I finally decided just to use the fabric, get rid of the seams I'd already cut, and make it into the same tank there. So these two versions I've made with little like seams down the back. And I did that, I think, just to fit kind of the pattern pieces on there. They're supposed to be cut in the fold. But I actually quite like the little design feature of seams up the back, so I quite often do that. And I'll cut it separately rather than on the fold. Now, I don't really wear this pink one that much, only because I don't think it actually goes with my skin tone very well. I think it makes me look a little bit washed out. And for the bias binding on the pink version, I didn't have enough of the fabric to kind of cut the bias binding from the self, so I actually used a little offcut of this Liberty fabric. Beautiful Liberty cotton lawn. I had a little bit there, so I just made some bias binding from that, which I think is super cute. Adds this little kind of pop of detail that I know is there, but when you're wearing it, you can't see it at all. So, super cute. Okie doke, so next one is my Deer and Doe Mellow. I still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but we'll just go with that. Made in this beautiful kind of Liberty cotton lawn. Really lovely and soft, beautiful fabric. Fortunately, I actually don't really wear this one either that often. I probably should wear it more often. I'm not sure, again, the colour suits me. So these were all kind of made in the kind of beginnings of my sewing journey. So I suppose, I think in the beginning, that's why a lot of the ones that I have given away, it's just they weren't my style. I think it's really easy in the beginning to get really caught up in buying like amazing kind of colourful pattern fabrics. I'm very into patterns. But to be honest, it's not always the main thing that I'm going to gravitate towards when I'm actually wanting to get dressed. So I think in the beginning, it's about making all these garments that you otherwise wouldn't be able to buy, and just in these like amazing kind of crazy fabrics. And then the longer I sew, the more I'm actually just sewing things that I would see in shops and stuff, like stuff that I just really love to wear. So yeah, and then the buttons on this are just from my grandmother gave me a big stash of buttons, which I really love to find matching ones and use those. I think I'm now at the stage where I've pretty much used all the kind of matching sets, and I'm down to a few odd sets here and there, but yeah, I love it. So the next two are again the same patterns, the Deer and Doe Mellow. This one here is just a kind of staple for me, polka dots and navy. I'm really into with these lovely kind of pearly buttons. It's just a kind of a really lovely fit. I really like that one. It's again just a drop shoulder with a little cuff, which I really like because it's super simple to make. The collar on this I found a little bit tricky because it does have a collar stand, so it's not the neatest, and the top button never quite sits like I want it to sit, but it does have this kind of lovely rounded kind of collar as well, which I think is really sweet. And then my beautiful rifle paper coat one, which I've shared in a previous Having a Yarn video with Tiff. I adore this shirt. I wear it all the time. This one's a little bit different because you'll see the sleeves are a little bit longer. So normally what you do is you put this little cuff area just straight on the dropped sleeve here, or you can make a long sleeve. So what I did is I kind of put the long sleeve on but then cut it as a short sleeve. That just means it kind of sits kind of closer to here than up here, which just for work I do like to keep my tattoos covered as much as possible. So yeah, that one's just a really nice one. I just often just wear it with a black denim skirt, which I really love, and just the feeling of the rayon is just beautiful. So yeah, it really does pay to buy more expensive fabrics if you can. Yeah, adore that one. So the next one is, I'm just going to skip ahead to this one here. So this is the beautiful Gilbert top by Helen's Closet, made in this kind of yellow, it's got kind of in real life slightly green undertones, maybe kind of mustard linen. And I had this linen for ages from Potter & Co as well. And you'll see that I've just put a white yoke on the inside because I didn't quite have enough to cut the yoke out from the same fabric. But again, once you're wearing it, you can't see that. And I won't go too much into this one because I've shared this in Having a Yarn as well. But I've got some buttons from my grandmother's stash again. These ones aren't matching, but I kind of like the ombre effect. Love the fit of this shirt. Love the kind of the open, I think, I can't remember if they're called sport collars, but they basically don't have a collar stand. Which I just think is, yeah, does that more kind of casual look. And the big pocket, yeah, so check out the other Having a Yarn where I talk about that if you want more info. And then basically I made one out of just like a cotton gingham. This has got the tie as well. And then it just basically, rather than having the second part of the collar on, I've just kind of had it so you just fold out this section of the collar, which I just think is like, just gives it a slightly more casual look. And that was just great with a pair of shorts in summer. So love that one. Okie doke, so moving on to the next two shirts here are basically what I'm wearing here but turned into a shirt. So I kept the same kind of bodice pattern for the sleeves and the top part. The bodice would normally obviously finish around here, so rather than adding on the gathered skirt I just added a little bit of length to it and then just did a little bit of like a kind of split hem detail on the side there. Just kind of makes it easier for tucking in, and just in this kind of beautiful kind of teal coloured, it's like a crinkle cotton. I'm obsessed with this fabric at the moment. I've made a dress out of one in a different colour. I made a dress for two friends. One I made the exact same colour as mine, and another one I made it in a beautiful khaki. It's just like, yeah, the nicest fabric. Super like airy and cool to wear, and they just have like the best colour palette, so I'm pretty much going to go back, buy it in every colour and probably make a top or a dress, just in this kind of self-drafted, easy to wear kind of style. So same pattern again, but in this beautiful white embroidered cotton, again with the split hem and the little cuffs. I love embroidered cottons. I just think it's just a nice way to add a little bit more detail to a plain white fabric. So it's still nice and bright and white, but just has a bit of detail. Love that one. So next one is my Rita shirt dress by Named Clothing, which has been hacked into a shirt. So originally this was a dress. I made it as a maxi dress for a friend's wedding. I wore it for the wedding and then pretty much never wore it again, wore it maybe once more. Not really a maxi dress kind of person, and I really love the fabric. It's not particularly great quality rayon, but I love the print of it, so I really wanted to get more use out of it, so I decided just to basically hack it off into a shirt one day. this little kind of split hem was just a happy mistake because that's where the kind of the pocket sat, so there was two separate sections, so I basically just, yeah, sewed it up. And I now wear this like all the time, again with a black denim skirt, something like that in summer. Yeah, so it was really worth kind of hacking that one into a shirt. Okay, so this one here is the the peppermint ruffle sleeve top. So it has a bit of a kind of a V-neck and these little kind of ruffly sleeves. And this fabric is just ridiculously soft. It's this beautiful rayon. I don't know whether it's Art Gallery Fabrics or another one. I can't quite remember. But I just adore the pattern. It's very me. The problem with this though is I feel like I'm quite big busted, so I feel like the V-neck actually is too high on me, so I would need to make an adjustment to kind of make it sit a little bit lower. And the shirt itself is quite short, so it's either one of those ones that you need to have not tucked in, or it needs to be longer so I can actually tuck it in, which I'm a bit of a tucker-innerer. So yeah, I don't wear it as often as I would like, I think purely because if I wear it and I'm kind of moving around, it kind of always comes untucked. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, it's gorgeous, I think. So this next one here, I debated on whether or not to include it in the video because I think I saw a photo of myself in it and I looked terrible, so I don't wear it that often. But yeah, I think there's just something about the fit that I haven't quite nailed and I'd love to give it another go. So this is the Greenline Studios Alder shirt dress, and I think it was view B from memory, with these cute little kind of, the front panel is flat and then you kind of do a gather from here all the way around. So like I super love the style, but it is drafted, I think Greenline drafts for a B cup, so I think I just need to fiddle around to get it to something that I really love. And it's in this kind of really light cotton navy with these little blue stars, which I thought I would love, but it's just, I don't know, it's something about, it's slightly stiffer than I would like. Maybe it's just because I haven't quite nailed the fit. But yeah, I should wear it more. Maybe I just have to fiddle around with it and get it kind of so it's fitting a bit better. Okay, so the next three are all the same dress as what I'm wearing. So these are the ones that I've just gone nuts with this week, so, or the last maybe 2.5 weeks. I've basically made 4 of these dresses for myself and 3 for friends and then 2 tops. So all of this kind of one pattern I've made, yeah, what's that? That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 garments in the past couple of weeks for myself and other people based on this one design. They all have slightly different tweaks because I've been tweaking it as I go along, but the one that I'm wearing is the one that I feel like is the best fitted because I've made those tweaks in terms of the darts and how much gathers in the skirt and things like that. This was the first one that I made, so I am part of a choir and we are currently doing a show at the Perth Fringe Festival all of this week. So we had a colour palette that we needed to have for our costumes, and this was one of the colours. I've had this kind of linen bed sheet set from H&M that I got years ago. Literally it was $20 for like the equivalent of 7-8 meters of fabric, and I just adore this colour, which is very similar to this kind of top as well. And yeah, when I saw it was that kind of colour palette, I thought perfect. So I finally brought out this fabric, and then just kind of this was the first go at self-drafting the dress. So this one here is a bit more of a looser fit, has none of the darts, but I still think it looks quite cute. And then my second attempt was this one here, I think, which in this kind of beautiful flowy green rayon with this little floral print. And what I did for this one here is I fully assembled the dress, and then I realised it was just for this kind of flowy fabric, and it was something that I wanted to be more of a smarter dress as opposed to just like a beachy, cool, summery dress that I wear around home. So what I decided to do is I kind of just added in these bust darts, which then, because it was already attached to the bodice when I created the bust darts here, it created these kind of like two little pleats down the front, which I actually think is kind of cute. I posted a photo of it on Insta, which kind of shows how you can see the little pleats there, and I think it actually works. I contemplated doing it with this one as well, so leaving the darts until after it was attached to the bodice, but I decided to try the opposite way, so I did the darts on this one first and then attached the gathered skirt. So you have still the gathers, but you don't have these two pronounced pleats where the dart is. And I think I actually like this version that I'm wearing better. But yeah, it's nice to have something a little bit different. And this one here, I've just got one of my little handmade labels in there. I literally just bought some cloth ribbon that says handmade on it that I sew into some of my garments. We're getting towards the end, thank God. Whew. Okay, so this one here, I adore this fabric. I've talked about it on Having a Yarn before, so I'm not going to go too much into it. This is just basically the peppermint ruffle sleeve top that's been extended into a dress. So I extended the bodice section and then I added a ruffle to the bottom. And I deepened the V as well because of that whole like bust issue that I mentioned before. I've worn it twice, still not convinced. I might actually hack this one into a top because I feel like it's just pretty full on. And I'm not sure I can pull it off. So I might hack this one into a top, which I think I'll wear more with just jeans and like a black denim skirt. Yeah. And I think you'll see as well that I reuse a lot of patterns. So apart from the kind of the 6 garments here that are all just from my self-drafted pattern, yeah, I'll make things multiple times. I think pretty much everything here I made that one. Apart from the Rita, everything else I've made kind of multiple times, really. So yeah, I like to kind of reuse patterns and change them up and stuff like that. This one here, so this is the Fringe dress. So this is kind of what I started off as inspiration, I suppose, for the sleeve of the dress that I'm wearing that I self-drafted. This one here is just a lot kind of baggier, longer cuffs, different kind of shoulder section, and obviously it comes down into like this V-neck section, which I really like with the wooden buttons, and then goes into a gathered skirt. And what I really like about this one here is that it's got a little tie that's incorporated into it, because you can see it's quite like a big baggy dress. So the ties, you can either just tie in the back to create more shape or bring the ties around the front as well. And I just really like the built-in ties because I hate ties that are just kind of sitting there and they always fall off or you lose them. So I like that the ties are kind of incorporated, and these little tabs at the side, which I think are quite cute, which kind of hold the sleeves up as well with these little kind of pearly buttons that I had there from my stash. So yeah, that's the Fringe dress by Chalk and Notch. And then lucky last of the clothes is just a pair of pants, which I've just realised I've forgotten to get the name of these ones here. So they were basically a paper bag waisted pant. The paper bag waist looked terrible on me because I've got quite a big tummy. So rather than having the extra bit of kind of ruffle at the top, I just got rid of that. Added some pockets on the back here. And it's just made of this plain kind of black linen. I actually don't wear these that often anymore. I have quite a small bum and small legs, and I feel like I needed to kind of ace the pattern in terms of fit, because I don't think they're particularly that flattering from behind. So they're more kind of house pants than they are kind of going out pants. Oh my gosh, I'm about to lose my voice. So yes, I mentioned that I was in a choir where doing 6 shows. We've already done 5. I've been up really late singing. So one more show tonight. It's closing night. So excited. But yeah, that's kind of why I'm losing my voice. And then just my knitted part of my wardrobe. Again, I have a whole bunch of stuff in terms of like, I've knitted like scarves and beanies and stuff like that, which I'm not kind of including because I don't really use them that often. I also have stuff that I've sewed, like pajamas and leggings and stuff, which I'm not kind of sharing today. I'm just kind of sharing the most worn and most kind of exciting things of my wardrobe. So this is the beautiful flax sweater by Tin Can Knits in the beautiful Quince & Co. Owl in Chamomile. It's got the little garter panel on the sleeves, which I think is super cute, and I've done like a longer cuff on them as well, which looks really pretty on. Yeah, I won't go into a lot of detail about this because I've done that in previous episodes of Having a Yarn. And same thing with this one, I won't go into a lot of detail. This is a nice chunky novice sweater by Petite Knits in this absolutely kind of so soft and stunning Crimson Co. Lark, I'm going to say, that was held double with a Rowan Kid Silk Haze, which is like a mohair and silk blend. Yeah, just beautiful. So that's pretty much everything that I wanted to share with you. Thanks for watching. I hope this kind of gave you some inspiration, or it was just enjoyable to see inside somebody else's me-made wardrobe. Yeah, I definitely can see over the time that I've been sewing that my styles have been changing, and yeah, the things that I'm making and wanting to make, yeah, has been changing, so that's kind of being reflected in my wardrobe. There are things here that I've made that I love, but I don't wear that much, but they're a bit sentimental, and then there's other kind of staple things that I just wear all the time. I certainly do not have a 100% me-made wardrobe, and I don't think I'll ever work towards that, to be honest. I just make things that I love to wear. Yeah, and that's it. So I'll also be sharing some other videos. I'm standing currently in my sewing room, which is not where we normally shoot our videos. Normally we're in my lounge room. But I'm redoing this room right now. Yeah, I'm going to do another video just showing you everything of the sewing room once it's all done with before and afters. And I also will be sharing another video about my fabric stash and all of my future sewing plans. So stay tuned for that. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.